Hi, morning everyone. I hope everybody is well. I haven't done one of these videos for a few weeks now, and I just thought, oh, that'd be fun to carry on. So here we go. So what I'm going to do today, cheers by the way, I'm having a glass of bubbly while we film. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a really easy sort of dinner party recipe, which is very simple to do. The first thing is chicken. It's my spicy chicken. So that is a roast chicken, which is spiced with a curry paste, garlic and oil, salt and pepper. And it's marinated in that and it's roasted. I'm doing okra in a garlic, onion and tomato sauce, which is the vegetable to go with it, which is delicious. I'm doing sweet potato mash, and that's about it really. I might do a dessert, but that's another video. So let's start. So the first thing is, I do my spicy chicken with a whole chicken, but you can get, if you want, you can get chicken thighs, you can get drumsticks. As I think I've said before, I much prefer to use chicken thighs rather than drumsticks. I think drumsticks go a bit dry. Thighs are really delicious. So if you wanted to, you could put this marinade with thighs and roast it, you know, if you're just doing it for perhaps 2 people and you don't want a whole chicken. So, you know, it's really easy to do. So the first thing we've got is, well, first of all, I've got cooking already, sweet potato and potato. So I've peeled it, cut it into about quarters of the potatoes, and the sweet potato, just diced it along there, and I'm popping that. These are going in with the rest that are busy boiling away there. So then the next thing we do is we need to get the chicken ready. Now, my chicken is a large chicken. I normally cook it at about 180 for, depending on the size, an hour 20. I usually find if you preheated oven at 180, an hour is usually fine. But, you know, always stick a knife in it, check that it's cooked, cut a bit of the leg, check it's cooked. But if it's slightly pink, as we all know, not cooked at all, just pop it back in the oven for a little bit more, keep checking it so you know it's cooked, and then that's great to go. Okay, so first thing we're doing is I use, for the quick way of doing this, I use Patak's curry paste. Now I buy everything, obviously, because I run a catering company, and I buy everything in big quantities. So I buy it in a large jar like that, which I get from Wing Yip, which is a place on Purley Way near Croydon. But you can get that in normal size jars from Tesco or Sainsbury's or wherever. But I get them in big quantities. So I've decanted some into a dish. So I'm going to put into my bowl, I'm going to put 3 of these into the bowl. I'm not showing you, 3 of those into a bowl. Then I'm going to add to it, I crushed some garlic earlier on. So I would say I'm putting in about 4 cloves. We like garlic in the family, so 4 cloves go in there. I must show you our bowls, by the way. We went to my daughter for the weekend, and she thought it'd be great, which it was, to do a little bit of exercise where, I don't know if you take your daughters or kids to the little pottery shop, and they sit there and they paint them. So she bought them and brought them back to her place, and we all sat there and did painting of bowls. That's one of them. The other one is this one, which has got my vegetables in, and the other one, when I show you later, is the okra dish. That's with lots of things in it. It was great fun. It's really pretty. Anyway, back to the cooking. So I've got the garlic and the paste in a bowl. I now want to put some oil. I'm going to take the cork out because I want to just do it quite quickly. So we're pouring, let me do it on, because I'm really bad at measurements, aren't I? So I'm putting 1 tablespoon, this is a dessert spoon actually, 2, 3, 4 dessert spoons of oil into my bowl. And then basically you want to mash it up so that it becomes a bit like a paste, but you don't want it too pasty. I might put some more oil with this. You can see. So we still want a little bit more oil because we don't want the chicken to come out with this paste over it. We want to put oil so that it's more like a juice. So I'm going to put another 2 spoons. 1, 2. Okay. Which oops, just dropped the top. So I've got two more in there. And you can see it's more of a liquidy paste than a hard paste. And then what I'm going to do is I've got my roasting dish here. So I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to put the chicken into it. Move it along so you can see. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little of the paste and put it into the cavity of the chicken. Try and bring this, I'm not very good at the filming, am I, guys? Put it into the cavity there. And then, with the rest, I'm going to put it over the chicken, so that the chicken will be completely covered with this paste. Okay, and then what I do is I cook it breast down, because you don't want it to be dry. And I find if you cook it with breast down, I learnt that from my mother-in-law, that cook it breast down and you won't get it dry. So there we go. That's all the chicken covered. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I've just got to wash my hands. Let me take my mic off. I'll be back in one sec. While I'm doing that, you can hear my potatoes and my sweet potatoes boiling away. That is going to be the sweet potato and potato mash, which when it's done, I obviously mash it with butter and some cream. And then if you do it earlier, if you're having a dinner party or something and you're doing it earlier, then you can put it in a dish, and I put grated cheese over the top of it, and then when I'm ready, about 40 minutes before the dinner party, you want it, I put it in the oven, and then we bring it out. You've still got the sweet potato mash, but it's got a crispy grated cheese on top of it, and you can just serve it. It's really, really good, and it saves you doing it at the last minute. Right, I'm going to put my mic back on, which I took off to wash my hands. I hope you could hear me okay. Okay, so that's that. So that's the chicken. I'm going to move that out the way. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is the okra in tomato sauce. So okra, or called bamia in the Middle East, you can buy it fresh, and it's long. And if you buy it fresh, just cut the top off, chop it, and then you can use it like that. Or, which is a lot easier, you know, I'm doing easy recipes if I can, you can buy it frozen, and it's just as nice. And it's already chopped for you. You can either buy it whole, in which case you just use it whole, or I've bought the chopped version here. And that saves you time again. If you're doing a dinner party and you want to sit and relax with your guests, then sling your hot stove and you've got it all done. So first thing we do is get my saucepan, and again some oil. Right, I've got a spoon here, and I would say we've got 2 spoons of oil, and I'm going to turn it on, and when it's heated, actually I'm going to swap them over so that the potatoes can be done gradually. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I've chopped up some onions, and I've got a whole onion here which I'm going to saute till it gets golden brown, And then I'm going to add the okra, and then I'm going to add, I love the Sacla tomato paste. It's the sun-dried tomato paste. You can use just tomato puree, but I really like the Sacla one. It's just lovely. It's a cut above everything else. It's great. So I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to add some chopped tomatoes. So these okra were 2 packets. I will put the recipe online for you with this, and I'll tell you how much it weighed. I don't know. I'll have a look. As you know, I do it by the eye. So I've got 2 packets of that, of the okra. I've got 2 tins of chopped tomatoes, and I've got 1 jar of the Sacla sun-dried tomato paste, which I'll add it all together. It's really, really ever so easy and really delicious. So put the onions in. Just looking to see if you can see what I'm doing, which I think you can. Move those out the way. I bought, I don't know if you remember, but all my other, some of my other ones, the mic wasn't actually a mic, it was just the phone. So my family said I need to get a mic. So I've got a mic, and that's what I'm doing. But of course, the lead is trailing, so sometimes you see me moving in a bit of an awkward way. I'll probably get that sorted the next time round. It's all a learning curve, isn't it? So. Nicely browned. Potatoes, sweet potatoes. What I sometimes do with mash is quite fashionable at the moment, and you can do it in so many different ways. I mean, as I say, today I've got sweet potato and regular potato mash, but you can have a horseradish mash, add horseradish sauce, a grainy mustard mash with grainy mustard, onion mash. I mean, there's such a variety that you can have, and it's absolutely delicious. And once you've got it with a really lovely sauce that we will have, because we'll have the chicken, but my sauce will be my okra sauce with it. Oh, delicious, absolutely delicious. Okay, so we've got the onions, if you can see, onions sauteed nicely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the tomato and the paste to make it into a sauce, and then I'm going to add the okra to it. So stir that all around. There we go. And then put the paste in. We've got the tomatoes and the tomato paste bubbling away in here. I will take it and show it to you. It's really yummy. I'm going to turn it down a fraction. Right, and then I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of coarse pepper. I like the coarse pepper. I don't like the very fine pepper. I like the coarse pepper. Just a little bit to taste. Stir it all in. Then I'm also going to add some garlic. Very important to add garlic. Garlic, oh, it's really lovely. I would say a couple of cloves, which was this lot. And stir that in. Now I would add a little bit of water to it. Although I put the paste in it, it just a little bit to thin it down a bit. I mean, it doesn't need much, just a touch. Okay. Right, it's all bubbling away. Okay, and then the next is the okra. I may bring this camera a little bit forward so you can see a bit better. Move you a little bit forward again. Okay. And then just stir it in. And it'll all get mixed in. It's one of the most favourite dishes of my family. It's really, really, really nice. And let me do my thing again, bring it up to the camera, you can see. There we go. And that needs obviously to cook away because it's all frozen, and I would say 20 minutes and then you're fine. So we're now going to go on to the sweet potato mash. So I've got the potato and the sweet potato, which we boiled. I've drained it. So I'm now going to pop it back in the pan, and I'm going to mash it with salt, pepper, and some butter and some cream. So I've got the butter here. I cut them into slices. I've got about 8 slices there. So I'm going to pop them in so that they start to melt in there. I'm going to put some salt to taste and some pepper, because we love pepper, the coarse black pepper. Put some there. Okay, and then got my masher. I will start to mash. I'll put the cream in a minute. I just want the butter to melt with the hot, because I've just literally drained it. So, and if you wanted to, you could, if you don't want it completely mashed like a, proper mash, you could do it so that you have little bits in it, and sort of a crushed potato. So you've still got bits left in it. That's what we sort of call it. If people want like a crushed one, they don't want it completely mashed. This one I'm going to do as a mash, so that all the butter is melting. And we've got a lovely, lovely, smooth orange and white mash. And it's, if you get it, it's got to be mashed, obviously. You can, once you've mashed it, you put it in the dish with cheese and leave it and heat it up later. But you've got to mash it when it's come straight off the boil. Drain it, mash, because then it'll mash. Otherwise, it just won't do it properly. So I've got the cream here. So I'm going to put some cream in with it, not all of it. Again, I will put this all online and give it another mash. Very, very, very creamy. Absolutely delicious. And I'm going to just, I know this is a big spoon, but if I move with my microphone, let me just taste it, see if it needs any more salt or pepper. Delicious, a little bit more salt. Remember, I don't put too much. You can always add more at the table, but you can't take it away once it's in there. Okay, so that's done. So I'll move my dish. I'm using a square Pyrex, obviously, so it can go in the oven for later. put all the potatoes in. You can see it's got orange and a sort of creamy white, so you can tell that it's got both things in it. Okay, and then I pat it down. It's all in the edges. Right, then earlier on I got some cheddar cheese. I use mild, but you can, because you don't want it to be heavy taste with the potatoes, but whatever cheese you'd like. But I've got some mild cheddar here, which I've grated, and I'm just going to put it over the top so that when it cooks, it's going to be a lovely crunchy finish on the top, which is really nice. On the other hand, if you're just doing it, for dinner and you've got all the time and you can do this at the last minute, you don't have to do that. You just mash it, put it in a dish and serve it up with whatever, which is lovely. So there we've got our sweet potato mash with the grated cheddar on top of it, ready to go in the oven.